Got Jason Ray on the line to break down the Oklahoma offense for us as the Sooners make their way through spring practice. We move on to the offensive line position, and I'm counting 6 guys who have either transferred in or transferred out. And we know, especially early in the season last year, they got hit with a couple injuries and then had some issues there that obviously contributed to that woeful passing statistic that you gave us at 119th in the country.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it was a group that under Bill Bedenbaugh, it seems like it's really kind of a trend under him that the offensive line typically struggles a little bit early on in the year, and it takes a bit for them to gel and get that cohesiveness among the group. But yes, absolutely, to your point, it took a little bit longer due to injuries and just maybe not quite as good on the offensive line. So I think 3 guys that we will probably start talking about and will be kind of part of the conversations. One is Derek Simmons coming over from Western Carolina. I think he's a guy that's kind of worked with the 1s and the 2s. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to play a lot. But I think probably the most intriguing thing, Mark, in terms of the newcomers, is true freshmen, a couple of them, Anthony Fasusi and Ryan Foje. Those 2 guys are, just kind of listening to people. When you look at those 2 guys, those are the 2 guys that look the best, right? From an athleticism perspective, from how they move and how they, kind of really how they strike and things like that on the offensive line side of things. Those are the guys that really come to the forefront. Now, obviously, they don't have the same experience, right? Being true freshmen coming in, but I think the eyeballs are on those guys. And I think those guys are guys that will, at least to some degree, factor into that depth running with the 1s and 2s. Now, I mean, do you have a couple of true freshmen coming in and starting game 1? Now that remains to be seen how the spring and the fall presents itself. But I think that's a couple of things to kind of keep your eye on. Jacob Sexton is a guy that has immense talent, really, just in terms of physical abilities. He's struggled a little bit with kind of some consistency and struggled with injuries and things like that. Kind of Jake Taylor, kind of the same way on the other side. So it's a group, Mark, that I think the staff likes what they have. Sort of a cautious optimism. When you look at that with the influx of talent that they brought in, the recruiting classes and things like that. But it's a group that has to be good. That is a group that has to be good early on, as we've mentioned. I think Michigan is week 3, so they're going to be challenged very early on. Maybe week 2. Now that I think about it, they're going to be challenged early on. Michigan lost a lot, but you know what you're going to get from a Michigan defense, particularly up front. So that's something that Oklahoma is going to have to be good with Ben Arbuckle, and they're going to want to run the football a lot. They ran the football a tremendous amount last year at Washington State. So being able to set that line of scrimmage, dominate up front, and really be in a position to compete week in and week out in the SEC is going to be pivotal for this team to have the success that they need and want to have here in 2025.
We've got our Oklahoma show with Chad and Tyranny on Mondays. That's at 8 Eastern and 7 Central where it counts. Again, that's Chad and Tyranny with our Oklahoma show on Monday nights. And you can catch me Monday through Fridays on the main channel at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Give me a call on the College Football Show.